Hi, it's Alex Counts again. I'm down here in my basement. Right behind me is my music collection. Music is a really important part of my life, and I try to let it show through in sometimes my fundraising, my leadership of nonprofit organizations. Those little details can humanize you to people, draw you closer. Maybe they share a hobby like listening to a certain genre of music or music in general. In any case, this is the last video of a series about fundraising, major gift fundraising, around stewardship. Now the process starts, I had in the earlier videos talked about the first meeting with a donor, what do you do? Then the cultivation process to follow up a successful first meeting, and then solicitation. How and when do you ask for money, and what do you ask for? But now we're going to talk about stewardship. So you've gotten the grant. Maybe it's not exactly what you asked for, the amount or the purpose. You had to negotiate with the donor, but it came through. Well, the first thing you do is within 2 days of getting the grant, you send a tax receipt, a very standard thing they'll use for send to their accountants for tax purposes. And anytime you get a gift of any size, it should definitely go out within 2 days. Longer, it just looks like an organization doesn't really care for their donors appropriately. But that's not where it stops. See, a lot of nonprofits, you get the big grant, you sweated it out, you succeeded, and then you just hope the donor kind of stays away from you, and you don't want them to be prying into their project or asking uncomfortable questions. But then they feel alienated. They feel like there's a bait and switch. You were very close to them for a while, and now you're holding them at arm's distance. The first step after the gift receipt is I send a really heartfelt letter, not a cut and paste job, a letter that can only be written to them because it reflects the things that are important to them. Maybe they want to be known as a certain type of philanthropist, a very intellectual philanthropist, a very caring philanthropist, a great networking philanthropist. Well, if you believe that they are that, then praise them for that. Let them know that the kind of philanthropist they want to be, you see them being. That'll be very meaningful, and have it be a really heartfelt, well thought out letter. And then you might ask other people to send their own letters, a staff member or a board member of your organization that this donor really respects, for example. It might come a week after your letter. And in general, in the stewardship, as I say about so many aspects of fundraising, know your donor. Donors, some of them want big public praise, a news release. Well, give it to them if you can. Some want to be very low-key and anonymous. Well, then give them that. More private type of stewardship. So know your donor, tailor your stewardship to them, but some things tend to work well. For example, asking people for advice. Many people are flattered by that. It shows you as a leader are humble and always searching for better ideas. It might be about the project they're funding. It might be about something totally different that's on your mind. So as you seek to involve them, maybe you'll invite them onto an advisory group or board. When I do some videos about nonprofit governance, I'll talk about some of the pros and cons of bringing major donors onto your board. But for now, it's one option of many. Don't rush into it, but it might be something you want to do for a major donor to draw them even closer to your mission. Of course, if you do that, you want to make sure they're dedicated to your entire organization because they're now a board member of all of it, not just of the project they're funding. But I'll get back to that in board. You might want to arrange for them to get to know people in your organization, say other donors and board members that they would like to get closer to for some reason. Invite them to exclusive events that only the top donors and friends of your organization go to. Give them access to people, things that'll draw them closer to your mission, a celebrity, or even someone who's benefited from your organization. So give them that exclusive access if they want that. At least inviting them, even if they don't accept it, will send a strong signal, even if they don't join because they have a conflict or they just don't like gatherings like that. But still, being on the invitation list will speak to them. If someone's a major donor, I share good news with them. We get something published in a prestigious journal, I want to make sure they get it from me with a little cover note. If there's bad news in your organization, also you want them to hear it from you, not from others. So they can be an ambassador for the organization if they choose to. Arm them with the facts and your response, and maybe as an organization you made a mistake and you're taking responsibility. So whatever the case may be, again, treat them as an insider. That's a really important point. Not an outsider or someone to be held at arm's length because they gave you money, but now you just want to spend their money and not have much to do with them. If something goes wrong in the project, you don't want to try to hide it from them. You may want to give a little time to figure out what the nature of the problem is, how it got caused. Was it an internal mistake or something that happened external, and what you're going to do to solve it. But then disclose it to them fairly early on. Take them into confidence. Let them know that you're open to their ideas for solving it. You're going to make the ultimate decision as the leader, but maybe they'll have a better idea than you have. By disclosing a problem, being transparent about it in a thoughtful way, in a measured way, really builds their confidence in you. Because you see, with a lot of nonprofits, when they have problems, they hide them, and if they ever come out, then they just figure the relationship is over. Much better to disclose it, and then they're going to think, gosh, this is an organization, when something goes wrong, they don't hide it from me, so I don't have to be really suspicious and always looking around the corner. What are they hiding from me? Because when something goes wrong, they tell me. When something goes right, they also tell me. So it builds that trust that they don't have to be suspicious. And when something goes wrong and they think you've made a bad mistake, it was caused by you, not some external force, rather than just assume the relationship is over, assume that it's an opportunity for you to show your professionalism, because we all make mistakes. We all make bad mistakes sometimes. I had a case where we made a very bad mistake with a donor. I figured the relationship was over, but a consultant said, no, this is an opportunity to show that how you respond in the wake of a mistake, and you can even get closer to them. And we did. We got 3 more $1 million plus grants from them after this major mistake we made fairly early in the relationship. But the main thing I'm trying to say here is, in the stewardship, making that donor feel like an insider, like someone you care about and you don't just see as an ATM, you see them as a real partner. Then they're going to want to do more, give more in the future, be lenient and forgiving if you make a mistake. Tell their friends about things that you do that go well so that they'll want to become donors. They'll become a long-term ally. And then the stewardship just morphs back into the cultivation for the next gift after a certain point. And those activities have a lot in common. But for the cultivation, you're then starting to kind of move towards what's the next big thing you're going to do, the next big partnership that you're going to establish when you build on the one you had. Stewardship can be really enjoyable, draw you closer to the donor, draw them closer to you, deepen a relationship which will hopefully last years, even decades, advancing your philanthropic mission. So good luck with it. Hope this is useful, and I'll be coming out with more videos on other subjects in the weeks ahead.